Just like that, we saw Conor McGregor fight for the very last time inside the UFC. And there's really nothing to break down in this fight. Conor just didn't have the durability to get through the fight or even get through the first couple minutes. That durability that you need to compete with the very best is such an underrated skill that the casual fan really doesn't understand. I think it's pretty obvious what's next for Max, and that's an undisputed lightweight title. It's really a crazy thing as a fight fan to watch Max Holloway, because if you completely erased from your memory everything Max did at 145 and only judged him by his fights at 155, he is still without doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer, only based on his lightweight fights. Max Holloway completely starched Justin Gaethje in a way we've really never seen before, and that was about a year and a half ago. Justin Gaethje is the undisputed lightweight champion, maybe a top 5 lightweight of all time, and Max Holloway starched him. It wasn't even close, not even at the end. All 5 round Max Holloway, it would have been 50-45 if the fight didn't end in the final couple seconds. So again, what's next for Max is kind of obvious. It's the rematch with Justin Gaethje. I know he was saying he wants to fight Conor in the trilogy, and best to him. You know, I would be saying the same thing. I would want another 10 million to fight a guy. The fight ends in another 30 seconds. For Conor McGregor, though, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. The UFC no longer needs superstars. They don't need Conor McGregor anymore. Conor helped them. He made them what they are today. But the UFC today no longer operates on that superstar model. They don't need it anymore. It's not necessary. All we care about is watching the best fights. Let Conor go fight the Jake Pauls. I don't know if he would even want to fight a Jake Paul, but you get what I'm saying. Let Conor go make those slot fights. Let him get his money. But inside the UFC, there's really nothing for him. Before this fight, I thought that Conor should fight Masvidal. I think that would have been a closer and more competitive fight, but I think that Jorge would have done pretty similar to what Max did to him. And you might think, oh, it was just a freak injury. Conor just hurt his knee on that jumping head kick. But it's not. One of the biggest skills that these fighters have at the elite level is having durability. If you can't make it through the fight, if you can't make it through the first 5 minutes, the first 3 minutes, first 1 minute, you really can't beat anyone. So Max was able to beat Conor without even throwing a punch because he's more durable. And that's not luck. That's not a fluke. That's being outclassed. Max outclassed Conor by being more durable. Durability is a skill, and I think a lot of people overlook that. If Conor does want to fight in the UFC again, and the UFC thinks that makes sense, which again, I can't imagine Conor as a main event, but there's a lot of low IQ fans, so maybe it would. The Nate Diaz trilogy is always there. They've been saving it in their back pocket as their ace. I guess you could always put Nate Diaz and Conor on a card, and we're going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. And I'm sure it's a little bit easier to sell, right? Nate just had a comeback fight where he didn't look his best. Conor just had his comeback fight where he didn't look his best. Let's put these guys together. Maybe they could settle it. The ring rust is off. They could go at it and settle that trilogy. But even in that, I don't know if Conor could survive against Nate Diaz. I'm not saying that Nate Diaz looked great against Mike Perry, but he did land a few punches. He took some damage and lasted a couple rounds. There was moments in the fight where Nate Diaz looked pretty good. I'm pretty sure Nate broke his finger like 10 seconds into that fight, so that could have had something to do with that outcome. But either way, Nate looked 100 times better than Conor did. Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor is the only fight that they could make if Conor insists in staying in the UFC. But again, if I'm the UFC, I'm going to offer Conor the release. He's done more than enough for the company. Let Conor go make his money and show that you're only here to put on the best fights if you're the UFC. Look at the co-main now, Paddy Pimblett versus BSD. This was such a difficult fight to call because it went exactly how it did. I was on BSD. I thought that he was going to play it a little bit smarter, but if you watched that video the other day, I said Paddy to win by submission definitely has some value. I want to be very clear here because BSD has moments in every fight where he loses focus and gets overly aggressive. If he does that even one time with Paddy, he 100% will get submitted. And that's exactly what he did. Outside of Ian Gary, I don't know if there's a more high IQ fighter than Paddy Pimblett. He genuinely told BSD what he was going to do and how he was going to finish him before the fight, and he still did exactly that. He even said what BSD was going to do. He said, you're going to take an ill-advised shot, you're going to be overly aggressive, and I'm going to submit you. And that's exactly what he did. It was such a weird thing to see. And beautiful technique too. We can pull it up here. So we're watching here, it goes out, they touch gloves, and right away they get straight to it. Paddy throws that oblique kick, throws another one, and instantly BSD just rushes in. We're 6 seconds into the fight, and Paddy has BSD exactly where he wants him. He landed that oblique kick, and instantly BSD just wants to get that back. Paddy landed the first strike, and now he wants to get that back. So he's going to blitz in, and boom, right there. Now we're still only 7 seconds in. After that blitz, Paddy landed a left hook, and it made, you could zoom in here, kind of made BSD pull back a little bit. He doesn't like that, so instantly he blitzes in. Again, we'll go back here, oblique. He rushes in, and Paddy lands the right, makes him stop, and then lands the left. And that hurt him. Nobody was talking about that. But before the submission came, Paddy hurt BSD with that left hand. Boom, here we go. Now he recovers. Instantly, he's hurt here. So you could see it, he resets. Paddy is focused because he knows what's coming. His posture is set, his hands are dropped a little bit. He knows a takedown is coming. BSD is loaded off his back foot. He's ready to throw that head kick, and then he's gonna shoot immediately after this. And Paddy knows that. Boom, head kick, Paddy blocks it, and he's gonna shoot immediately after this, and Paddy knows that's coming because he said it before the fight. Boom, he shoots. And Paddy knew it, perfectly timed sprawl. He's right on his neck just to show that sprawl again. Head kick, perfectly blocked, didn't land whatsoever, and he shoots. Paddy sprawls, jumps on the neck, it's not really on right now. BSD knows it, he bails a little bit on the shot, but already it's too late. He tries to power out of that. Same way BSD defended the guillotine against Dustin Poirier and even Dan Hooker, he tries to just muscle his way out of it. So he tries to do it, it looks like he gets loose, but this is what Paddy's great at. He's not gonna be the guy who gets the takedown, slowly and methodically passes your guard. Paddy wants to play jiu-jitsu exactly how BSD offered him to play jiu-jitsu. Here we go. Now he lands that darce. Didn't even need to crack him down, just shot that bottom arm through. He already has the darce grip. Hand in the bicep, he's got that lock. So as soon as he's in this position now, it's only a matter of time. There's so many transitions you could go to. You could go back to an anaconda, kind of modified guillotine. It was really cool how he gets this finish too. This is so tight. A lot of guys would have tapped here. This is tight. The fight's over at this point. There's nothing you could do to defend it. It's funny, people say, how do you defend a darce when you're in this position? You don't defend a darce when you're in this position. The defense is not to be in this position. Once you're here, it's over. BSD is still trying to wrestle here, and he's just making it tighter. Look, we could zoom in there. That choke is deep right now. Super, super deep. Almost the cross in between a darce and a guillotine. He lifts up his arm, he's done, and just like that, it's over. Incredible game plan, incredible performance by Paddy Pimblett. He knew what BSD was going to do. He said what he was going to do, and he countered it and looked amazing. It's really cool to see, and Paddy has so many options. Now, it's the most realistic, and probably what happens next is Paddy goes on to fight Charles Oliveira for the #1 contender fight and for the BMF belt. Paddy, without doubt, has that BMF energy and is the clear #1 contender if he could beat Charles Oliveira. But what I would love to see from Paddy Pimblett is he should be screaming Arman's name for two reasons. One, because I think Paddy would absolutely starch him. I don't think that fight would be competitive between him and Arman, and it would just be another great name to add to Paddy's resume. And the second reason is Arman would never accept that fight, and then it would just show that Arman is not serious about fighting in the UFC anymore. He's a RAF athlete. He'd rather go to Georgia and fight random wrestlers in fake wrestling matches and make his money. That's fine. I don't care what any man does to make money, but I don't like it when people aren't authentic and they're trying to change narratives. Arman is not a real contender. He's still 2 fights away from a title fight. I think Paddy and Charles Oliveira for the BMF belt is the fight to make. But it really would be funny if Paddy was bullying Arman, forcing him to say that he doesn't want to fight in the UFC anymore. For BSD, it's tough, man. I'm looking at the rankings here. I think he should fight the loser of Quillen Selkid and Gamrot. That's going to be my breakdown for the main and co-main in this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.